My name is Brennan Turner. I am the trail supervisor here for Baxter State Park. I have an office here in headquarters here on Millinocket, but I work all over the park. It's really based on the season. If I'm in a bit more of a planning phase, I'm here at headquarters. If I'm, executing projects, I'm out in the field visiting crews or, in the dirt working on stuff. So my main responsibilities, I oversee all of our trail crew staff, volunteers, contractors. I sort of manage all of our trail maintenance and construction projects from top to bottom, from going out in the field, finding the problem, designing a solution, ordering the materials, hiring the people, whether that be staff, like I said, staff, volunteers, or crews like the Baxter Youth Corps or the Maine Conservation Corps, and then I help them execute the project in the field. Yeah, so when I was in college, I studied geology. So I spent a lot of time breaking rocks and looking at the inside of them. And then after college, I tried a couple of different industry type jobs. I was working as a mud logging geologist in New Mexico for a while and really didn't like that. And I tried working for a geotechnical firm back in North Carolina. I didn't really like either of those things. And the woman who trained me on the oil rig used to work for a trail building company in Colorado called the Rocky Mountain Youth Corps. And so I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I don't like the oil fields. I'm gonna go do something else. And so she got me in touch with the Rocky Mountain Youth Corps. And I started building trails with them, kind of doing the seasonal swing. I would, build trails in the summer and fall and then go skiing in the winter. And I just kind of bounced around both Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and then up to New England. I worked in Connecticut for a short period of time before transitioning into full-time, a supervisory role or in management in the position I'm in now. So just a lot of seasonal trail building jobs, and I just found my way here, luckily. So. What do people not know about trail building? Most things. The average trail user doesn't understand the amount of labor I think that goes into both maintaining a trail and then also building a new one. And then on that same side, I don't think a lot of people understand sort of what it takes to design and finally build a trail. It takes many hundreds to thousands of man hours and dollars to really build a lot of these trails. And on top of that, a lot of the trails here in Baxter State Park and just New England as a whole are kind of what we would call legacy trails. So they were built long before the concept of sustainability had even been recognized. And so a lot of these trails are, straight up fall line, straight up mountain. So they just hold water and they erode. So yeah, I don't think people understand how much work goes into maintaining a trail. When they get up on, let's say the tablelands at Katahdin, and they see the string fencing and they think that it's just there to provide, guidance to keep them from getting lost. And really it's all about maintaining foot traffic to a very controlled corridor and really trying to minimize impact. And that's really ultimately what we're trying to do is, minimize human impact on the surrounding environment and try to reduce erosion wherever we can by getting water off the trail. But, there's somebody could work in my role here in Baxter State Park forever and, never run out of work to do. So yeah, I hope everyone gets outside and gives a high five to the local trail crew, because I don't think a lot of people understand how much work goes into just keeping a trail, clean and open and drained. Most challenging part of the job, I would say, I think just the scope of the work, 209,000 acres, it's a lot of work, but it's the scope of the work combined with the remote nature of everything. For me to get to a trail project, I got to drive at least an hour pretty much from my office, and then, hike X many miles in, and you got to carry all your tools, your chainsaws and everything. So yeah, just the scope of work and the remote nature of the work just makes time management really difficult. We spike out in the field a lot to sort of do the best we can, but yeah, it's a heck of a lot of work, and our season's, relatively short, and it takes a long time to get anywhere. So I think that would be the most challenging part, is just the remote nature of a lot of our projects. Oh, the best part of my job? Oh man. I just like building things, playing in the dirt. Breaking rocks open is absolutely like my favorite thing to do. But I really enjoy a lot of the people that are attracted to this type of work. I like enjoy their company. I've pretty much every trail organization I've ever worked for, I've liked almost everyone I've worked with. We work hard, we laugh a lot, and there's a lot of fun to be had in just kind of commiserating on like, all right, we're doing a 6-mile hike in with, a bunch of paint and chainsaws and tools and just kind of that, shared misery. We call it like type 2 fun. It's the kind of fun. It's like it's not so much fun while you're doing it, but after you've done it, you're like, wow, that was awesome. And that's kind of what trail work is all about. It's just like type 2 fun. Building things and playing in the dirt. That's where it's at, man. There's a lot of really awesome stuff. I like to move, I like to be moving a lot. So, hiking, climbing Katahdin, of course, is a pretty obvious one, but I do that a lot for work. So I don't really do it a whole lot on my days off. So if I'm in the park on like a day off, I want to be swimming somewhere, up at like South Branch, Howell Brook, up by the waterfalls there. Anything I can do to be by body of water, like out on the canoe or something. And I'll save all my hiking for work time. It's just what I was saying before is just, I just hope people can, when you're walking through the woods and you see, these stone steps like set there, I don't think a lot of people understand just how much time and effort goes into that. Just say thanks to your local trail crew, wherever they may be. There's trail crews all over the country. Just do your best to be good stewards of the land by staying on the trail, minimize your impact. Walk through the mud, don't walk around it, hop on those rocks. That's my biggest request, especially above tree line, staying on hardened surfaces, staying on the trail. A lot of the plants up in the alpine zone are so fragile and rare too, so we want to do everything we can to minimize human impact, not just on Katahdin, but throughout the park. But that would be my plea to anyone who comes is just stay on the trail and enjoy it. Interesting or funny stories. We've had some fun times on the trail crew. There was a project last year. We have our crew leader who did multiple seasons with the Baxter Youth Corps. He and the crew were working out on the Northwest Basin Trail, and we got like 3 inches of rain overnight. And the Northwest Basin Trail has multiple crossings of Wasatokock Stream, and it also has a crossing over Annis Brook. And they were spiked out camping in the field. In between Wasatokock Stream and Annis Brook, and the water came flooding up, and so they couldn't go forward and they couldn't go back. So they messaged me on the inReach, and they was like, oh yeah, on this week's episode of Alone, the trail crew is stranded on the Northwest Basin Trail, and so it was just kind of everybody was fine. It was a safe situation, but it was just kind of hilarious. I was like, all right, I guess we're stuck here for 12 hours, and the ranger from Russell Pond had to go out and like help them get back across the river, and we had to just like call the project off. It's like, all right, it's too much rain. Let's go home. So that sticks out of my mind as a funny memory. It's just like being reminded, like, oh yeah, gotta watch out for those stream crossings. We'll come up real fast. Growing up, I had no idea that there was a career to be had, stewarding land through trail maintenance. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that someone was like, let's go check out a conservation corps or something. So I guess if there's anybody out in the world who is interested in doing trail work, whether that just be for the summer or if they're interested in it as a career, there's all sorts of excellent programs. The Friends of Baxter offers the Baxter Youth Corps. That's a really great way to sort of bring people into not just the park as employees, but just to get people outside working on the trails they use and kind of making that mental connection between like, I like to be out here, but this is what it takes to maintain it. But every state has some form of a conservation corps. Here in Maine, we have the Maine Conservation Corps. Pick a state, you'll find some sort of conservation corps. And a lot of those programs offer decent pay. You get to spend your summer out in the woods, building things and, getting to know your crew really well. It's a viable career option, and it's growing a lot. There's all sorts of professional trail building companies, especially here in Maine. Companies like OBP or Town for Trails, like there are these privately owned trail building companies, and they're just swamped with work. Every public land agency is trying to build trails right now. Everybody's trying to get outside. So if you're not sure what you want to do, with college and career-wise, like I would encourage you to get out on the trail and just take a summer to build and see what you think. And there's probably a long-term place for you there if you enjoy doing it. So yeah, that's just my little plug for the trail industry. But it's a growing thing, and it's a lot of fun. So I would encourage people to check it out if they're interested.